Today, we're going to learn from two African so-called dictators how we can become better Africans and better African entrepreneurs. You already know all about the negative side of our dictators. Let's not talk about that. Let's focus on what's not known, what's not talked about, that we as Africans can incorporate in our lives, in our businesses, or in our future businesses to become better. Hey, what's up? My name is Aris. Welcome to Diaspora Achievers. In this channel, I take the African diaspora on a journey to creating businesses that contribute to the development of the continent, change the African narrative, and helps us become truly free. So if you're new here and want to be part of this journey, here are your first two steps. The first one, go in and click on the subscribe button below and then click on the notification bell so that you never miss another video you need to succeed building Africa. The second step for you, it's go in the description below, get a free copy of the ebook that I put together for you, which contains the top obstacles that Africans in the diaspora face when building businesses. It also contains the reasons why building businesses and entrepreneurship is the best tools that we have to impact Africa and Africans. And third but not least, I've also listed out a few ways you and I can go in and change the African narrative around us right now. Go ahead, get your copy, and let's get into the video. So let's be crystal clear. This is not a political channel. This is a business channel. I'm just going to focus on the things that we have in our past that we can incorporate and in our business and in our life or in our business to be. If you were in Africa or if you are part of African circles, you probably know that all the uproar and all the negativity around these two dictators is not something that was universally accepted or felt around the continent, right? So let's just look at the first one right now, Muammar Gaddafi. There are two things that stand out when I think back of who he was and who he had done. The first one is that he was commanding respect wherever he went. Obviously, he had the money because of oil to back it up. But really the idea here is that if you and I want to make a difference at a large scale, money is undeniable. That's why I created this channel, to help us build businesses to make a difference and to make an impact. Can you believe that for the most part, Muammar Gaddafi had his tent, right? So he was not, when he was going on an official trip, he didn't go into a hotel, at least for the most part. He didn't go into a hotel, he didn't go into a palace. He basically had his tent that he was putting out. We've seen it in Paris, we've seen it in New York, we've seen it in a lot of different places. Some may say that it was a marketing stunt, some may say that it was just for optics. I don't want to get into that. The fact of the matter is, it made an impact, right? We remember it, I remember it, I'm talking about it today, right? And politics is a lot about PR, it's a lot about, persuasion and all that good stuff, right? I don't want to get into all of that stuff. What I'm saying, all I really want to say is that because he had the money, there are things that he could do in terms of impact that others who don't have the money could not do, right? So he was commanding respect. He has a strong personality. So with money, there's a lot of things you could do. You can command respect. Obviously, you can do bad stuff. That's fine. But you can command respect. You can do a lot of things. You can impact things. You can change ideas. You can change mentality. You get what I'm saying. The second piece is around loving people. He was, I don't care about what the media said, but from what I know, from what I've experienced growing up, I had seen a lot of people, a lot of Africans in different countries, but I had not seen a lot of Libyans, migrating or going places and all that stuff. One of the reasons, I'm not Libyan, I don't know the ins and outs, but one of the things he was doing well was taking care of his people. Free education, free medical treatment. I think it was free if you wanted to start a farm, and there's a lot more stuff that he did. I'm just letting you know the few that in my mind was really remarkable, especially for an African country, right? There are a lot of people. And then the one thing I also want to say about Gaddafi is that you can't just say, yeah, he had the money, that's the least he could have done. No, we've seen other places on the continent Angola, for example, Gabon, for example, and Congo, they all had a lot of oil, but none of them have done it to the extent, actually, not even comparable to what Gaddafi had done, right? So the first one about Gaddafi, commanding respect. The second one is taking care of his people. The second so-called dictator is Mobutu Sese Seko Kugugwendu Wazabanga, president, or whatever he called himself, of Zaire, currently called DRC. He had a campaign, I would even go as far as calling the movement, which was based around authenticity, right? It was based around that you have to be proud of who you are as an African. You have to get rid of all the culture and all the stuff that all the colonizer brought to the country. So two things that he did as an example was, one, around the clothing, the uniform. He got rid of the Western suit and tie and replaced it with something that's called abacus, I think. Abacus is essentially, if I were to translate it, if I remember correctly, is get rid of suits, right? It's basically a word that says get rid of suits. It's really a professional outfit that every single people in Zaire, or men rather, were forced to have. And again, the idea is that get rid of all the Western clothing that the colonizers brought, and let's have our own outfit. The second piece here that I want to bring to you around his movement of authenticity was the names. He basically forced his people to get rid of European names, so Claude, Michael, all the European names, and forced them to have local African names, right? And then I think I had seen an interview with him recently. It was really interesting the way he put it. It actually made sense, at least to me, which was, if you went to Congo at the time, you see a lot of people called Belgian or French name. Let's just say, for example, Martin, right? Or Claude, for example. But he, in an interview, was asking the journalist, would you go to Belgium, would you go to Europe and find European calling their kids with African names, like Mobutu, for example, at the time, or any African name, right? That's just not conceivable. Now, why are we calling our children European names, right? So again, the whole thing here was around, let's be authentic, know who you are, respect your origin, and accept them and be proud of it. There you go. So I really want to share with you these two dictators that have done a lot of things that we should not get rid of, and we should remember as we live our lives, especially over here in the diaspora, and as you build your company, right? How to get respected as an African, the things you can incorporate in your life to be respected, right? So from a business standpoint, having money, because when you have money, you can make a difference. And in terms of personality, know who you are, know where you're from, be smart enough to be able to delineate who you are from what the colonizer brought to you. And if you don't know, go ahead and research it. At least have it in the back of your mind. Now, question to you. Which one of those ideas, or maybe these dictators, so-called dictators, have ideas that you think we should know about and that could help us be better Africans? Now go ahead and share it with as many people as you can who may not know these facts about those dictators, African dictators, and also hit the like button so that YouTube knows that we need more content for the African diaspora on YouTube. Peace.